I remember there was a time also we were camped for state, and a friend of mine, we went to town. They were asking us. I mean, the older ones were again drinking, and I took a stout. And when we were coming back, my friend and I, we went. He said he wanted to ease himself, and I also wanted to ease myself. And we slept in that bush because we, both of us, until morning that we had to start to come to the.
Hi, I'm Tony Lope, catching up with Dad, just tracking a lot of this 70-year journey and a lot of what it has been. So we're doing this in 7 parts. You want to get all of them. In this part, I am just going to be catching up. You have very keen interest around sports, and a lot of the years that you have spent have been as a sportsman, and I kind of want to drive in on that a bit. But first of all, I want to do some trivia quickly. If you were not a pharmacist, what 2 careers do you think you might have wanted to pursue?
Yes, I might have been a lawyer.
A lawyer? Wow.
Yeah, because I used to go to courts as a young person.
Wow.
And listen to cases until one day that the judge stopped laughing. I was still laughing, and I was almost arrested for contempt of court. So but I used to like law.
Oh, wow.
I also like history.
History?
Yes, I like history. I used to read a lot of historical things, but I love history. Maybe also languages. I love languages. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Never know. In another life, never know what you would pursue. But let's talk about sports for a bit. I know that you actively played basketball.
Yeah.
For a number of years, but let's see where it started from. How did you get into that?
Yes. Well, as youngsters, we love sports. Play sports. I used to play a lot of football as a young boy. We would stay after school instead of going home when we close at 2. We can stay till 5, 6 before we start going home. So when I go to secondary school, of course, even as a youngster, I would just sit and watch people play. Play. Those days there was no television, nothing. So it's only what you see. So you watch. I would watch the basketballers and watch their moves, watch everything. So when I was at school, I started playing, and somehow the moves of those that I've watched over time as a young person also start coming.
Wow.
So and then the Titcomb College love, it was all encompassing, not just academics. You have socials, you have sports. It's like a total life.
Oh, nice.
Everything,
Beautiful.
is and worship. Everything is seen that man is the whole totality of man.
Oh, great.
So we didn't say anything averse about recreation, sports, academics, worship. Everything is a balance.
Oh, great. So just to catch up to speed, so you played for Titcomb College?
Yes.
Then after that?
I played for Kwara State.
For Kwara State, at what level?
I played at secondary school, and even after secondary school also, I played like first sports festival 73.
Oh, National Sports Festival. Oh, great.
And 71 academic hours, like secondary school championships.
Okay.
Interstate. In those days, there are only 12 states in Nigeria.
Okay.
So we played as for the state.
Okay.
We also played, for Ife when I got to Ife.
Okay, that's Nuga.
Nuga games.
Nuga for Ife.
Wow games, yes.
Okay. Oh, West African. Okay. Yes. So there's one thing to play, another thing to win. Did you win anything?
Oh, yes. Well, the first time I represented Kwara State, in fact, we were like an underdog, but we won the national championships.
Wow.
Bendel State at that time was being a corridor. Bemudia, I don't know whether you know about Bemudia. Bemudia was a very strong sportsman as a soldier. So he encouraged his sportsmen, but we beat them in the final.
Wow.
And we had a wonderful coach that just with 1 point, we won the cup.
Oh, wow.
Then they thought...
What year was that?
That was 1971.
71.
A-levels.
Okay.
I was in A-levels.
Wow.
72 again we were there, but this time we lost the championship, so we became third.
Oh.
And then 73 we won silver medal in the National Sports Festival.
That's a few medals.
Yeah, and then so
anything from Nuga?
Nuga Games, not really.
Okay.
We were defeated also in Nusuka the first time I went by Zaria. You know, maybe more or less in the final, but we were defeated. And then in Ibadan, 76 also, we were not able to win the cup.
Oh.
But I was, normally we choose all-stars team.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was on the all-stars team.
Oh, interesting.
You know, which were then to travel out to represent all the Nigerian universities.
Oh.
There to travel out of the country, but it never happened.
Oh, okay. But it's interesting that, you know, the basketball journey brought accolades, brought success and all of that. Now, one of the things that I find that many sportsmen deal with, I find, especially being young people, that, you know, getting this fame, success and all of that. What was it like for you just intertwining your right values, your faith, even as you were succeeding in something like sports?
Yeah, it was, I would say, you know, it makes you, particularly in school, it makes you popular, as it were. I mean, in terms of, you know, when you come back from the state, you know, from national championships, and they say we have won. You come back from school, even when the school goes somewhere, you come back. So just a feeling that of accomplishment, as it were, you know, and at least in that area. And of course, also there are temptations also in terms of faith when you are there. I mean, because you are now thrown into so many things that people in the world do. And I remember the first time we were in Lagos. I've never gone to cinema before. But as a team, I mean, the team did not decide that we would go for cinema.
Yeah.
And so we went there, and of course, half of the time I was sleeping. So by the time we came out, I didn't even know what was there. and then there was also another time we went and they were quite remember we were hosted by the police college. We were staying in the police college, and I remember some of them were drinking, and I think I tasted beer. And by the time we were going in Lagos traffic, I was so pressed that I could not, you know, because of I've never done that. So there are different times of, but as one matures, one was able to stand firm and say no to many of these things, it's. I remember there was a time also we were camped for state, and a friend of mine, we went to town. They were asking us. I mean, the older ones were again drinking, and I took a stout. And when we were coming back, my friend and I, we went. He said he wanted to ease himself, and I also wanted to ease myself. And you know, we slept in that bush because both of us, until morning that we had to start to come to the. So there are exposures that one also, as a young person, you are trying to try many things, you know. But in it all, we saw God's grace again. Also, as one matures, one is able now to stand, you know, to say, even in sports, we can preach Christ. It became a time when one can, because I remember the other camps that we have that I was organized, even fellowships where we invite preachers, you know, to the camp, you know. So it, but it was evolution, you know, evolutionary. It's not something that happened early in life like that. It was as time goes on that one will see the opportunities and what can use the things for.
Yeah, and which is really interesting because some of my own memories as a young child, maybe as early as 6-year-old, if I remember well. I remember that you would have this basketball club. We used to call it Pacemakers. And, myself, some of my brothers, our friends, every Saturday morning, I remember you'd coach us and it was beautiful seeing you use that as a platform, but it was an influence that was more than just basketball. It was almost like it was a tool and an influence on these young minds and, shaping them and all of that. So if I can ask you, if you are going back in your sports journey, and just the opportunities you had with the skill, is there anything that you might maybe use it more for? Is there anything you might pay more attention to?
What in fact was important to me, because as I said, another thing I could have been was to be a coach. But even right now, as I go to retirement, one of the things that is still uppermost in my mind, because God has been asking me, what is in your hand? And that was what informed that Pacemakers at that time to be like a boys' camp that one can transfer skills, not just sports-wise, but academically and spiritually. Can build. And at that time, we'll do some Bible studies, we'll do some Bible quizzes, Bible lessons, which was also what helped us as young people, to understand the totality of life. So going back, if I had also the opportunity, and of course, even now, it's still uppermost in my mind to also use as a tool to bring young people to life, to learn some skills, and at the same time also learn some values, and especially Christian values.
That's great, and it's totally inspiring to know that everything that God puts in our hands are of great value and of great use, and grateful that you share that. But one last question. So I heard somebody say many years ago that the higher you rise, the smaller the ball gets. And so they say that workmen in organizations would play soccer, and then like the MD would play tennis, so the ball gets smaller. And then the owners of the business would play golf, so the ball gets smaller the higher you rise. You play basketball. That's a very big ball. Is your ball getting smaller? Any other sport you're looking at?
Well, I also do a lot of tennis.
Oh,
some tennis, not a lot.
Welcome
some
to
tennis. Some tennis, but basketball, I see it as a gift that God has given me.
Okay.
And anywhere I've been in the world, either in Japan, in Canada, anywhere, anywhere I see people playing, young people play, and I join them. It has always given me opportunity to introduce Christ to them. Anywhere.
Awesome.
Anywhere I've been. Either when I was in King's College in London, because I also played for King's College in London when I was there.
Nice.
Canada, anytime I go on holidays and I see, we'll give opportunity to share Christ with them. They will come, they will say they want to hear, because at the same time when I was in Japan, some of them would ask me, please take us out and so that you can teach us how to play. I'm from there, So it was, I see it as just God's gift. And so I tend to exploit more in retirement,
That's really good. I do remember also that even when we were in secondary school and you would come for PTA meetings, Parents Teachers Association.
Yes.
I remember that whenever you came on a Saturday, when we get back to school on Monday, I remember all our friends, because if my dad is passing the basketball court, he would probably just sink a 3-pointer and everybody's talking about it. And it was such an inroad and influence. So that's really true and such a great lesson to learn. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you very much.
Grateful for that.
Thank you.